In the intricate dance of global finance, nations move their pieces on a chessboard few ever get to see. Decisions made in quiet, secured rooms can reshape economic alliances and challenge the very foundations of the world's financial order. For decades, the epicenters of this power have been clear: London and New York, where vast quantities of the world's gold lie stored in heavily guarded vaults. But a subtle yet seismic shift is underway. A new player is stepping onto the stage, not just as a buyer of gold, but as its guardian. And a small nation in the heart of Southeast Asia is about to make a move that could signal the beginning of a new era. This is the story of how Cambodia is poised to become one of the first countries in the world to entrust its national treasure, its gold, to China, and what this move reveals about the changing currents of global power. Cambodia, a nation rebuilding and reasserting its place on the world stage, has been quietly amassing a significant treasure. The National Bank of Cambodia, the country's central monetary authority, holds approximately 54 tons of gold. To put that into perspective, this shimmering hoard represents a full quarter of its $26 billion in foreign exchange reserves. According to the latest assessments from the World Gold Council, this places Cambodia among countries that hold a substantial portion of their wealth in the physical metal. For a developing economy, this is not just a financial statistic. It is a bedrock of stability, a tangible asset backing its currency, and a safeguard against the volatile tides of international markets. Gold is the ultimate insurance policy, and how a nation chooses to store it speaks volumes about its trust, its allegiances, and its vision for the future. The traditional custodians of this wealth have long been Western financial capitals. The vaults beneath the Bank of England in London and the Federal Reserve Bank of New York have for generations been the default choice for central banks around the world seeking security and liquidity for their gold reserves. This system, established in the post-war era, has been a cornerstone of the U.S. dollar-centric global financial system. But whispers are now turning into confirmed reports of a significant departure from this long-standing tradition. Cambodia is charting a new course, one that leads directly to the People's Republic of China. This decision, while not yet publicly announced in a grand ceremony, is understood within circles familiar with the matter to be a definitive step, marking a pivotal moment in Beijing's ambition to internationalize its financial infrastructure and its currency, the yuan. Sources close to the ongoing arrangements have confirmed that the Southeast Asian nation is finalizing plans to transfer and store a portion of its national gold reserves within a state-of-the-art vault in Shenzhen. This isn't just any vault. It is a facility officially registered with the Shanghai Gold Exchange, the world's largest physical gold trading market, strategically located within the city's Qianhai bonded zone. The anonymity requested by these sources underscores the delicate nature of the transaction. This is more than a simple logistical operation. It is a geopolitical statement. By moving its gold to China, Cambodia is casting a vote of confidence in a new, emerging financial hub, and in doing so, is diversifying its holdings away from the traditional Western-dominated centers. This decision signals a reevaluation of risk and a realignment of trust, a move that could very well set a precedent for other nations to follow. Indeed, Cambodia is not alone in its considerations. Same sources indicate that several other countries, primarily from the developing world, have expressed similar interest. They are closely watching this move, weighing the strategic benefits of diversifying their reserve storage locations. The logic is compelling. For many nations in Asia, Africa, and Latin America, the concentration of global gold reserves in London and New York represents a form of systemic risk. The geopolitical landscape is shifting, and the sanctions imposed on Russia's central bank reserves following the conflict in Ukraine served as a stark wake-up call. It demonstrated in no uncertain terms that assets held within the Western financial system are not immune to political leverage. For countries seeking greater autonomy and insulation from the geopolitical tensions between the West and its rivals, placing a portion of their ultimate asset in a non-Western, geopolitically aligned location like China is becoming an increasingly attractive proposition. This development is not happening in a vacuum. It is a calculated and crucial part of Beijing's broader, long-term strategy. For over a decade, China has been methodically building the infrastructure of an alternative global financial system, one that is less dependent on the US dollar and the institutions that underpin its dominance, like the SWIFT messaging network. This ambition is manifested in the creation of the Asian Infrastructure Investment Bank, AIIB, the promotion of the digital yuan, and the relentless growth of the Shanghai Gold Exchange. Becoming a trusted custodian for other nations' gold is the next logical step in this grand project. It elevates China's role from being merely a participant in the global economy to being a fundamental pillar of its architecture. By offering secure, state-of-the-art vaulting services, Beijing is not just providing a service. It is extending an invitation to join a new sphere of financial influence, one anchored in the East. The Shanghai Gold Exchange itself is a testament to China's ambition. Since its inception, it has aggressively worked to establish itself as the premier hub for physical gold trading, launching yuan-denominated contracts, and creating a direct link between domestic and international markets through its international board. The vault in Shenzhen's bonded zone is a key piece of this puzzle. Special status allows foreign institutions to store gold and trade on the exchange without being subject to China. Stringent capital controls offering a blend of Chinese security and international accessibility. For a country like Cambodia, this presents a best of both worlds, storing its assets with a powerful regional partner while maintaining the liquidity and flexibility needed to manage its reserves effectively. It's a pragmatic choice, reflecting a deep and growing economic and political partnership that is seen. China become Cambodia's largest trading partner and foreign investor. This move must be viewed through the lens of a world that is increasingly fragmenting into distinct economic and political blocs. The unipolar moment that followed the end of the Cold War is unequivocally over. We are entering a multipolar era where middle powers and developing nations have more agency and are actively seeking to balance their relationships. They're no longer content to operate exclusively within a system where the rules are written and enforced by a single dominant power. Storing gold in China for a country like Cambodia is an act of strategic hedging. It does not necessarily signify a complete break from the West, but rather a deliberate diversification of its dependencies. It is a declaration of economic sovereignty, an assertion that it will choose partners based on its own national interests, not on the dictates of historical precedent. As the first bars of Cambodian gold are prepared for their journey to Shenzhen, the world's central bankers and geopolitical strategists will be watching with keen interest. This is more than a line item on a balance sheet. It is a symbol of a changing world order. It represents the quiet but relentless rise of a new financial power and the growing confidence of nations willing to align with it. The flow of gold has always traced the flow of power, from the Spanish Empire to Great Britain, and then to the United States. Now, a new current is pulling it eastward. The story of Cambodia's gold is, therefore, not just about a single transaction between two nations. It is a bellwether for a much larger global realignment. It signals a future where the architecture of international finance may become more decentralized, more multipolar and fundamentally different from the one we have known for the past 80 years. The trust that underpins this system, once concentrated in a few Western capitals, is now being contested and redistributed. As Beijing systematically builds its credibility as a guardian of wealth, the decision made by Cambodia may soon be seen not as an outlier, but as the beginning of a trend, a quiet financial revolution that redraws the map of global power one gold bar at a time. Echoes of this move will likely reverberate for years to come, marking a definitive chapter in the story of the 21st century economy.